I think there's something about friendly competitions that people just love. It's like, one minute you're all best friends, and the next minute, you're trying to prove your team is the absolute best. This is especially true when it's a double date. You've got two couples, Jasmine and James and Cade and Mia, who decided to put their teamwork to the test. It wasn't about winning some huge prize or anything. It was all for fun to see who could work together better and, let's be honest, to have a good laugh. These kinds of games are a great way to hang out and do something different from just watching a movie. The whole idea of a couple challenge is to see how well you and your partner can handle crazy situations. Can you communicate without talking? Can you trust them when you're blindfolded? It's like a pop quiz for your relationship, but way more fun. Jasmine and James seemed pretty confident, and Cade and Mia looked ready for anything. The energy was high, and you could tell everyone was excited to get started. The challenges were all set up, and you just knew things were about to get wild. It's the kind of night you know you'll be talking about for a long, long time. The challenges were broken down into a few different types, which is smart because it means everyone gets a chance to be good at something. You had your food and drink games, which are always a recipe for disaster and big messes. Then there were the physical games, where you have to balance or do silly things while trying not to fall over. And finally, you had the guessing games, which test how much you know and how fast you can think. It's a perfect mix of brain power, physical skill, and just being able to handle a little bit of chaos without freaking out. The best part about these games is that there are no real losers. I mean, sure, one team might get more points, but everyone wins because they get to make fun memories. Watching your friends try to stack cookies on their forehead or get a question wrong in the funniest way possible is just gold. That's the whole point, right? At the end of the day, it's not about the final score, it's about sharing a crazy experience and laughing so hard that your stomach hurts. And these two couples were definitely ready for all of that and more. You can't have a proper couple challenge without some messy food games. That's like a rule or something. Jasmine and James and Cade and Mia started with a classic this or that food challenge. The setup was simple. 2 covered plates, and you have to pick one. The catch is that one plate has something good and the other has something not so good. In one round, a choice was between a tasty snack and a giant glob of mustard. James ended up with the mustard and had to get a face full of it. You could see the look on his face, a mix of shock and pure regret. Another food game they played was a guessing challenge. They had to guess what was under a cloche without looking. If you got it wrong, you had to wear it. This is where things got really messy. Mia made a wrong guess and the consequence was a bowl of chunky tomato sauce getting poured right over her head. She was a good sport about it, but you could see Cade laughing hysterically next to her. It's one of those moments that's not fun when it's happening to you, but it's super funny for everyone else watching. That's probably why these games are so popular. The drinks were just as unpredictable. In another round of this or that, the choice was between a normal glass of iced tea and a mysterious, lumpy liquid that no one wanted to identify. These games are all about luck, and sometimes your luck just runs out. You have to be brave and just go for it, even if you know there's a 50% chance you're about to drink something gross. The reactions from both couples were priceless every single time, whether they got the good item or the bad one. It was a true test of their courage. Even when things didn't go their way, both couples were laughing the whole time. James took his mustard punishment with a smile, and Mia just shook her head as the sauce dripped down. It showed that they were all in it for the fun. They knew things were going to get messy, and they were totally prepared for it. That's what makes these challenges so great. It's not about being clean and perfect, it's about being willing to get a little silly and make a mess with your friends. After the food mess, it was time for the physical challenges. These games test your balance, coordination, and how well you can work with your partner without crashing into everything. One of the silliest games was a blindfolded task. One person from each couple was blindfolded, and their partner had to guide them using only their words to pick up an object. This is way harder than it sounds. You'd hear things like, a little to your left, no, my left, and of course someone accidentally got poked in the nose. It was pure clumsy chaos. Then came the balancing acts. In one challenge, the couples had to work together to hold a synchronized pose without falling over. It was like a game of human statues, but way more wobbly. You could see them shaking and trying their best not to laugh because laughing would make them lose their balance. Another game involved moving a small ball through a maze on a wooden board that they had to hold together. This one required a ton of concentration and teamwork. One wrong move and the ball would fall right off. The classic head, shoulders, knees, and toes game also made an appearance, but with a twist. The couples had to follow the commands and then race to grab an object in the middle. This game is all about speed and listening carefully. It got super competitive, with everyone diving for the object at the same time. These fast-paced games are awesome because they get your energy up and show who can think on their feet. There were a few false starts and funny stumbles which made it even better. Through all the wobbling and stumbling, the couples showed great teamwork. They had to trust each other, especially during the blindfolded parts. They had to communicate clearly to get through the maze challenge. And even when they failed, like when a pose collapsed into a pile of laughter, they just got back up and were ready for the next thing. These physical games weren't just about being athletic, they were about being in sync with your partner and not taking yourself too seriously when you inevitably mess up. The final part of the double date challenge was all about brain power. The couples faced off in trivia and guessing games. One round involved naming things in a category like German car brands or different kinds of sports. This is where you find out who knows random facts. It was a fast-paced back and forth, and things got pretty funny when people were put on the spot. When asked to name countries, someone panicked and blurted out Wakanda and Hogwarts, which are definitely not real countries. Everyone erupted in laughter. Another great guessing game was a couple's specific round of who is more likely to. This is where secrets get revealed. Questions like who said I love you first, or who is more protective, were asked, and the couples had to answer at the same time. It's a fun way to see how well they know each other and their own relationship. Sometimes they agreed and sometimes their answers were totally different, which led to some funny explanations. It's a lighthearted way to learn more about your friends and their dynamic as a couple. These guessing games really showed how the couples supported each other. When one person was stuck on a trivia question, their partner would try to give them a subtle hint or just cheer them on. And when someone gave a silly answer, everyone, including their own partner, would laugh with them, not at them. It was a really positive and fun environment. It proved that you don't have to be a trivia genius to have a good time. You just have to be willing to try and have a laugh at your own expense. In the end, it didn't really matter which couple won the most challenges. The real prize was the experience itself. Jasmine and James and Kate and Mia spent the night laughing, getting messy, and working together. These kinds of games are so much more than just a competition. They are a way to build stronger friendships and create memories that you'll talk about for years. It reminds you that the best times are often the ones where you can just be silly with the people you care about, and a little friendly competition can bring everyone closer together.